Hi guys.
Hey.
Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because we're going to do this podcast style.
What?
We feel like it would be more fun to do. So I asked you guys on my Instagram what you wanted to see, and a lot of you guys said you wanted to see relationship advice. So here we are, ready to give it. I mean, that is one thing we have completed.
Yep.
Did I say relationship advice? Dating advice.
We've dated as well.
And we've completed that
We
phase.
cover that.
I mean, we still, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think we'll date again. You good here?
Yeah.
You good in marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not going to date again.
Anyway, so if you guys want, you can follow me on Instagram so that you can be in the know when things like this happen. So I'll go first. These are in no particular order, and we're going to try to rapid fire them. We'll see how not like rapid fire, but not, elaborate too long because it's getting dark out. So we don't have much time. All right. First question, how to know if a Christian guy is interested in pursuing you? What's your answer on that?
Honestly, that it doesn't make much sense. And why? Because I guess, well, no. It does. But the guy should tell you that they're interested in pursuing you first and foremost. So I don't know about giving advice on, because that sounds like a game. Like, how do I know what they know? How can I read their mind? How can I read their actions?
So that's what I was going to say, was that like it should be very clear. If a guy is pursuing you, right, it should be very clear, in my opinion.
In your opinion. In my opinion as well.
You agree?
In our opinion. How similar should your theology be, especially for different denominations? That's a tough one, because I feel like there's many denominations. And a lot of them differ in things that I believe aren't foundational.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's more different traditions and things like that. But I think there's a select few things that absolutely you cannot wager on. So I'd be like the deity of Christ.
Yeah.
The
Trinity.
The Trinity.
These are all primary issues.
Honestly, I would even align on like salvation and how all that works. Definitely align on the gospel.
Like to me, in my opinion, a huge difference is like, how do you believe that you are saved? Is it just confessing with your mouth?
Right.
Some people believe it's confessing, but you also have to be baptized. And that's a big difference. It seems small at first, but when you really get down to it, that does completely change your view of God.
Yeah.
And so I think you can't waver. You can't waver on the primary issues, which are just the things that we just mentioned. But, like some churches, they do communion every single week, and some churches don't.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of you might have that conviction that you think that should be done every week, and one of you might not. And to me, that's not a primary issue.
Off the top of your head, can you think of other like nuanced things that are different each church?
Like how do they believe the end times will lay out?
Yeah.
There are so many different opinions on that. And, as long as it's aligned with biblical views, then there's room for, I don't know there.
Yeah.
Or, well, no, that's not. Okay, yeah. Actually, this is a good example.
All right.
Is like alcohol, for example. There's a line that's like, do not get drunk. But what if he is fine with one drink and you're not okay with one drink? Like, that's not a primary issue, because both of you guys are still aligned that you shouldn't get drunk, which is primary because that is a sin. Exactly. That to me is another example.
That is really good.
Thanks.
That's good advice. And ultimately, why you should care about that is because when you then form a marriage, you are putting two lives together and building your own life. And so if you differ on big things like that, you're going to get pulled in every direction. Someone's going to waver on something, and it may be I don't know.
Okay, next question. It says dating in high school tips.
Oof. Don't.
You want to know? Yeah, that's what I was about to say. My tip is don't. I dated in high school. You dated in high school. I was a believer in high school.
I was not.
You were not a believer in high school. And I regret isn't the right word, but just, looking back, it probably wasn't the best thing. And I had people tell me that as well. Oh. And I ignored it.
Yeah.
So,
it definitely wasn't fruitful. And it's just, you're so young, you don't have any direction of like where your life, like vocationally and just socially, like where that's going. You don't know where you're going to be living. So, I mean, it's just a time. It's a time to, if the Lord, to just go deeper into your relationship and grow in your ministry and evangelism, like work on those things, because that's ultimately going to set you up for the future.
And not to say that like literally 3 people, 2 of my siblings and my parents dated in high school and are married now and have a great marriage, like both.
It's good to say.
Yeah. It's not that you're wrong. It's just if you're asking me, I would advise if you were my daughter or my friend, I would say.
But that's really hard because when you're there, like that's all you want the relationship.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it.
I ignored it.
We get it.
Yeah.
We ignored it as well. Okay, next question. When to talk about boundaries? So I'm assuming. Okay, well, yeah, this is in the construct of dating. So you're
all
dating.
This is dating.
Yeah, sorry.
Good job.
I'm getting there. Okay, you didn't send these to me ahead of time.
What else would it be?
I don't know.
Friendship boundaries.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a thing, but anyway.
Well, I think very early in a dating relationship, definitely not the first date. I don't recommend the first date. That's, it's a bit much. But once you see that the relationship is like, it has staying power, like you want to hang out with them more, you're going to plan the next date. And it's just going to, you see it being a recurring thing, then yes, absolutely, as early as you can, as early as you've felt that out for.
I feel like maybe once that kind of stuff is starting to get introduced, which for everyone is different, but, in a perfect world in my mind, if you're, if you DTR the relationship and your boyfriend and girlfriend.
Define the relationship. Yeah. You don't define the relationship. You just said DTR the relationship.
I think that once you're like officially beyond just like, we're hanging out, we're seeing if we like each other. Whenever you're like, okay, we're dating. This is my boyfriend. I think you should definitely have the conversation then, because you know that you're now going to be pursuing each other in a dating relationship. And, a lot of people kiss prior to even having that label on there. So I think it should be whenever that physical thing is introduced. Do you think?
Well, that is
then you've got to backtrack.
That is a good rule of thumb. Talk about it as early enough to where a boundary cannot be crossed. Like, don't let a boundary crossed bring up the conversation.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah. No, that was really good.
A boundary crossed should not bring up the conversation.
I need to explain why I just left like that. Because I thought you were going to say, do not let a boundary crossed and then continue to where it would be an improper sentence. Like
why would you
improper grammar.
That I would say an improper sentence.
I don't know. Speaking of boundaries, what are some boundaries that we had in dating? Let's just rattle them off.
Okay.
Quick.
Don't lay down together.
Yeah. Don't sleep in the same bed because we were long distance.
Yeah,
so
back and forth. Oh. Wait, hold on. You said don't sleep in the same bed.
Yeah.
That was my next one.
Okay. Back and forth. I got one. Hurry up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Go for it.
No kissing after dark, specifically 8 p.m.
That one was one that we implemented later on. That was not initially. Mm-hmm. So that was, yeah.
I mean, I am just going to say this, like, no sex.
That's a good boundary.
And then we're not just, I mean, I'm just going to get specific here. We're not just talking no penetration.
Yeah. Wow. Go for it.
Nothing that ends in sex.
JP, a good pastor that we like to listen to from time to time.
We really respect him.
We really respect him. He says if your body is preparing itself for sex, that's too far.
You've gone too far, yeah.
Yeah. And that, I think you know what that means. Gentlemen, you know what that means. At what point did you talk about serious topics? Money, physical desires, anonymous, please. Okay.
You're not supposed to read that.
I am so sorry. So money was kind of early on for us. Our first hike together, we talked about how the grocery bill would look like.
Talk about.
We thought about it. Remy was with us.
Hold on.
I thought about it because I saw that you were very frivolous with your spending at times from what I could see. And I'm not that way.
And he was like, rice, beans,
chicken.
It
was the total
he
gym,
could.
bro.
I think you told me you could spend, what, $30 a week on... This is pre-inflation.
Yeah.
But...
Well...
It was something
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That
And
sounds
I,
nice.
in college, would spend $100 over.
You would...
And that
cook
was
meals
also
for your roommates, which is a
pre-inflation.
good thing.
Yeah.
But Anyways, we talked about that very early on, but our personalities are like we.
Yeah.
If it even so much as like floats past our mind, we need to talk about it.
But we did have emotional bound. Like, we didn't just talk about whatever came to our mind.
No.
Like,
But
we
I'm just
did
saying,
hold
like,
back.
if it got put in my head somewhere,
Yeah.
that like, oh my gosh, she spends a lot of money. Like, hey, Jaclyn, so how are you gonna be?
Yeah, because the
with
whole
this?
point of dating is to evaluate
It's an
whether
evaluation.
there's a suitable spouse. So it's okay to ask those questions. But did he know how much money I had in my bank account? No.
No, I did not know that
Until
think-
we knew we were going to get married.
Exactly.
And we were having those big conversations.
We talked about the loans that I had still to pay off. We talked about how much money you had saved up and our goals.
Don't need to give them information that can give them an understanding if you're a suitable spouse or not.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
Good.
Doesn't matter when.
These are good little like one-liners.
Yeah.
I hope y'all are taking notes.
Okay. That's a funny image. People literally take notes. Okay. How to know if you are mature - ready enough to date. I got a one-liner for this one.
Go.
If you're ready to get married.
Yeah, that's good. How to know if a Christian guy is worth dating. I want to get this straight. Are we
Okay.
assuming that the guy has already expressed interest, or you're just looking
Yeah,
from afar?
but let's say they've gone on 3 dates and she's going, how do I know on paper that this guy who I know is a Christian is worth dating?
Yeah. I would say one piece of advice going into dating is see how, like, have outings with other people, other believers, and see how they are around other people. See how they react to just being in those situations. How are they around others? Because that guy is trying to impress you and is going to be nice and kind and turn up a lot of different things potentially. Not to say that they're
Jesus style.
Yeah, that Jesus
That
style is
tends
going
to
to get
go
turned up.
up.
And it's not like they're trying to deceive you. They are trying to win the job of being your boyfriend.
We all
and then,
do it,
And
yeah.
so you want to see how they are in as many natural situations as possible. And if your dating is just you two and it's just secluded away from everyone else, that makes it really difficult to really gauge who they really are.
I also think just putting them up against the word and to see, okay, how does the Bible define a godly man? Well, can you see these qualities in him? Is he going to meet every single one? No, it's not
did.
possible. No.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, but like, is he at least striving to get there?
Yeah.
And you know, is he missing the mark all the time? Then that's a red flag. But if he is striving to be like Jesus and be a man of God, then it should be pretty clear through his life, the way he lives his life, and other people should be able to see that as well. What are your thoughts on just spending the night at each other's dorms or apartments? I love that they put just in front of it.
Just.
So
But that's okay. If all you're doing is just
spending the night.
just spending the night, okay.
So that we come from an interesting place on this because our entire relationship, if we ever saw each other, we were staying in the same place.
Yep.
But we did not, I wouldn't say that was our preference.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do that because, I don't want to, drive here. And it was because we were long distance. But we had to implement very strict boundaries because we knew that we were putting ourselves in a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
To me, spending the night at each other's dorm apartment is very dangerous for your purity.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we put specific boundaries in place. Like, we did not share a bed when we slept. Our first night sleeping together was on our wedding night.
Yeah.
And we know people that did sleep together, like just sleep in bed together
Mm-hmm.
and didn't have sex, but that's just really hard. And like,
they're fine. They're alive. They're,
yeah,
they're married.
As far
and,
as we
and
know,
it's
yeah.
great. So,
But I would not advise that.
No.
I actually think that you are not fleeing temptation.
you're inviting the opportunity to get tempted, and you're
Yeah.
inviting sin.
For sure. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you are in a situation where you have to stay at their apartment,
I was gonna say that though.
what?
Is there really a situation? Oh, have to stay at their apartment,
Yeah.
like us? Yes, but there's no situation in which you have to stay in the same bed.
No.
There is, as a guy, I slept on the most uncomfortable leather couch every night for 2 years.
It's very sweet.
It was really bad, but I did it, and I could have stayed. If I had to stay on the floor, I would have. Like, there is no situation where you can justify sleeping in the same bed while you're dating.
Someone's
so
like,
do not do it.
they've got a studio apartment.
Yeah.
It's the same room.
Yeah.
Like, we only slept in each other's presence once, and that was with all
Your
other
entire family.
6 people, 6 other people.
Yeah.
7?
In a camper.
I can't remember. Yeah, it was in a camper. So, and I still felt a little funny about that one.
Okay, so the exclusion is a camper with the rest of
Since
the
we
family.
did that, it's
Yeah.
okay.
So we're adding that to the list. What is one thing you would have done differently in dating?
It's a deep question.
I think I should have bought you flowers. I should have held your hand.
That song's been stuck in my head today.
It has for me too.
Yeah.
One thing I don't know.
I've said this. I know.
What?
I wish we would have waited till engagement to kiss. I know that's, yeah. I'm
Nope.
just letting you know that's what.
Yeah, nope. Not how I roll. That might be better. That might be what you're supposed to do, but I did not want to do that.
Would you tell that to Jesus? Sorry, Jesus, that's just not how I roll. Sorry, man. I'm not selling all my possessions.
I don't think. Wow, now I'm convicted because kissing brought about temptation.
Yeah, which is and that's why I feel like
Okay, I take it back.
And the reason I don't say till marriage, which I might need to be convicted on this, is just because I cannot have my first kiss in front of people.
Yeah.
That's
You're
just
going to
me.
tell Jesus that?
Okay.
Jesus, yo,
Yo, man.
couldn't have it.
Okay.
Wait, I didn't answer.
You didn't seem like you had an answer. Perfect. Sam?
I don't have an answer.
Oh my gosh. How did you know you're ready to move on from dating to getting engaged?
I had enough money saved up for a ring.
Well, and I just felt like it was no longer the question of, will he make a good husband? It was like, Sam will make a good husband.
Yeah.
Like at that point, it was like, okay. And I want to marry you. That's a huge part of it too.
Yeah. Logistically, financially, everything lined up as well on at least my side, at least that lined up. I don't know. I don't remember saying to myself like, okay, I'm ready. Telling your whole family like, hey, I'm going to. I remember telling my parents, hey, I'm going to, but I don't remember. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I wish you would have recorded that.